Hey there, my name's Eric. I'm making faces that you can talk to. Yeah, let's demo. Because I want to get to coding. And first, before I can code, I need to demo. That's just the structure that I've made of this stream, is that I'm going to demo at the beginning, and then I'm going to start coding new stuff that I can demo the next day. That's how I do it. There's reasons for doing it that way. Oh yeah. Okay. So here's this screen that I've talked through a whole bunch of times. In previous streams, I've talked through this screen, but it's basically a screen for recording dialogue. So recently I've made it so you can select a line to record, and you can just go ahead and record it. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Right? And then there's these 3 square buttons that popped up here, one for each take. I can click on them. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay. So as part of this production effort, someone may decide they want to use one of these takes and not the others. Well, that's kind of the expected outcome, because when you record multiple takes, you typically just use the performance for one of them. The best one, the one that fits, the one that doesn't have any mistakes, the one you like best, So say I don't like the first one. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I just don't like it for whatever reason. I can click and drag it to this delete button, and it's gone. Maybe I like the first one. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I can drag it over to the finalize, and then it's over here. I'll be back in 5 minutes. It's also still over here. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So maybe I changed my mind and I like the second one better. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Then I just drag it over here, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Now that's the one that's selected as the final one. And it's already got linkage to the line, which has linkage to this interactive dialogue structure here. And the face will eventually be plumbed so it speaks the selected line, but I haven't gotten to that yet. Just concentrating on getting this part here working well. I have gotten just a little bit of friction just mentioning this project to recording engineers, and it was predicted friction, that they don't like the idea of using another app besides their trusted DAW, like Reaper or Audacity or Audition or Pro Tools. Their normal software they use to record. They would prefer to use their normal software to record. That's fine. I get that. I totally do, especially when you have your whole setup for professional audio dependent upon everything being just so, and you've already invested a large amount of time in setting up your tools and the hardware to work together, and you're already very comfortable using that tool. I get that. But this workflow is combining like 3 or 4 different multimedia tools together so that there's less steps involved in getting that recorded audio into a playable form. So typically you would record everything in one big WAV file. You'd bring it into your DAW. You'd go through and you select your takes, and you would edit out the junk you don't want and do other manipulations on it. then you chop that all up into separate WAV files around different lines, and then you take those lines, export them, and have some kind of way of tying those lines to whatever the ID or thing is that the application is going to use to reference the audio. You make sure all those linkages are correct, and then you can play it and test it out inside of your game or whatever it is, your multimedia player. So this is doing all that stuff just inside of one web app with a pretty simple specialized interface just for this interactive dialogue. So it's going to save a lot of time, and it will be a good way to draft quickly. And drafting quickly, the voice audio is going to be important because when you are testing this out, see, I'll show you the experience without having any audio. I click start. I've got a subtitle here. This character is talking. Now, I need to, for testing, have the speech recognition pick up and interrupt this guy. But my ears have to listen to what the character is saying to know when to break in, just like a regular conversation. So if I don't have some kind of audio here, I cannot get a feel for how this conversation is going to flow. So that's why I made this screen to very quickly get test audio into the data structures here so it's testable. And it may be the case that somebody doesn't want to use this particular web app to record their final audio, and that's fine. There'll be another way to bring in audio besides this way, but this is the quick way. Okay, so what's next? Now, when I click on I'll be back in 5 minutes. That's maybe not a great example. Let me see if I can find one that...
Yeah, I'm watching a band.
Okay, so if you listen to this at the beginning, there's a fair amount of dead space, like maybe half a second or so.
Yeah, I'm watching a band.
Yeah, but watch my bag. But after a moment of silence, or there's never really perfect silence, but non-speaking. So we need a way to trim that. And the way that I'd like to do it is that as soon as you drag, this guy over to the finalize, it brings up a dialog that lets you select the trim points and defaults to like a start and end trim based on guesses of where those should be. That can be done with sample analysis. And I've actually mocked it up over here. So here's the UI that I'd like to create. It's got these draggable start and end markers. It's got the samples shown here, or waveform shown here. There's this auto adjust thing here, which can be used to kind of quickly move the left and right, or the start and end bars, to be more inclusive or less inclusive. And the thing that it's going to include from is the loudness. And so if you look at this waveform, it's very quiet here, and there starts to be a little bit of volume there. Maybe I'll get a little bit. All right, so this audio, say the first word is fearless. Okay, so if it's fearless, the F at the beginning tends to almost look like silence. Sometimes can be confused for room noise, and you might cut it out. So say that this was an F sound here. Well, I might leave this where it is, trim there, because I need that F sound. But it might be the word but. If it is the word but, then this little bit here is probably just junk, and it makes sense to kind of pull it in tighter so that it starts quicker. And this auto adjust is a way of just saying, like, what is the threshold of loudness that we will use to signal where the start of speech begins and where the end of speech ends. Okay. All right, then after you get the start and end points as you like, you click the next button, and then there's some automatic analysis of the speech to figure out what the lip animation timings are going to be. So that's what I'm going to create today, or at least a portion of it. Pardon me. So I will aim to just get these two dialogues in a very rough form up and kind of click throughable, and then I'll make refinements to them as I have time. And it'll probably be multiple days before I get all this stuff working. But let's get going on it. That concludes the demo portion of the stream. Now I move on to the coding portion of the stream. And it won't be for everyone, but oh well. Can't please all the people all the time. Sometimes I can't please any of the people any of the time. Okay. So I've got all this stuff open. Do I have anything waiting to be committed? Nope. Okay. I feel like I'm just going to close a bunch of tabs because I don't know, it's almost like a peace of mind thing. Let's make sure I don't have way too many tabs. All right. Speech screen dialogues. The first one will be trim speech dialogue. More dialogue. I have both types of dialogues. I have dialogue as a little pop-up window thing, and I have dialogue as UE, as text or spoken words. I have both of the homonyms in this project. And I'll take a moment to celebrate that those two words are homonyms and not synonyms, because otherwise it would be more confusing. All right, function, trim, speech, dialogue, props, and export default. Okay, so I have many other dialogues to just grab a little bit from and use as the basis of filling out a new dialogue. So let's pull that in, get rid of all these unneeded relative references, and this should be, yeah, it'll be trim, speech, dialogue. What? Oh, is it like that? Jesus. I see it right there. And I don't believe you with your red squigglies. Alright. No, come on. Stop being stupid. I see everything right here. Why would that not work? What am I missing? Am I just going crazy? Import styles from ... Yeah. This exists. Did I save it? Maybe I didn't save it. Worded in exactly the same way. Alright, let's fix other stuff because maybe it's just glitching due to these other things. Okay. Is open boolean. Okay, const is open equals props. And we return that. Turn all this. And I'm going to delete the stuff that doesn't apply. And I don't know why I wrote it like this. I could also just go... I think I can do that, right? Yeah. Okay, cancel, test. Next. Ooh. So I'm going to make this dialogue here. That's what I'm going to make. Cancel test next. Might as well grab this text here while I've got it open. Okay, we'll go. Wait, mobile dialogue. Does that have like a description? No, it doesn't. Okay. Just gotta put it in like that. Alright. This stuff I don't need. This I don't need. Just delete that. Delete all that. Okay. And let's put in the functions that it will need to call on cancel. Test doesn't need to be passed in as a prop. That can be complete. That can be handled with state in this dialog. Okay, is open, on cancel, on complete. Test. For now, have it do nothing. Okay. So that should be enough to just get it to appear and show something. Then I'll come back and refine it later. Next, I'll add in the glue that actually brings up the dialogue. So if I come to my screen, okay, the screen that I'm going to is this screen. The class that implements like this whole rectangle here is where I'm going to go to next. And that is the speech screen. It's kept here in this directory. It's a fairly complex screen. So there's a lot of source code associated with just this screen. Okay, down below, I'm going to add in the new dialog. It's going to be the trim speech dialog. Is open equals, yep, on cancel, yep, on complete, yep. What else was there? Was it just those three? Yes. Okay, so those are the three that have to be passed in for now. Okay, now I need to figure out what's going to make that dialog pop up. think it'll be okay. Alright, so you say make take final. So right now I've just got it calling back that the take's changed. I did depart from my normal pattern of having changes to user data only happen in the screen, and instead I let a component that was closer to the UI for initiating that change handle the change. And now I'm paying for it. I knew there might be a price to pay. I knew there might be. And I think this is where the price is. Because now I've got code that makes some changes. After it gets done, it signals to the screen, just update yourself. But I'm about to do something else, which is bring that dialog up. And that needs to happen at the up at the screen level. It's kind of like the screen component has got all the stuff to do almost all the work, and this other component just has some of the stuff to do some of the work. And I got away with having some of the work get done here, but now it's a more complex task, and it needs to happen in the screen component because all the data is there. I don't want to like drag all the data down into this component, this child component, in order to do it. So the very simple task that I set out is actually a little more complicated because I essentially broke my own patterns. So I may need to fix my pattern here. To do that, what I could do is not call these things here, and instead pass in two functions that will pass the key in question for that function to either delete a take or make the take final. And then those functions will be implemented up in the screen. So that's the way to do it. Just follow my pattern. So if I get rid of this and just change this to on delete take. And then let's do take have key string. Okay, and then on finalize take, yep. Okay, now I got a red squiggly. On delete take. On finalize take. Okay. And this becomes on delete take. Finalize take. Okay, so now this guy is right, but whatever calls into it will be wrong. So I just need to go up a level and fix each level. Add the plumbing to pass these down as we go. Okay. So the next one that instances this is speech table rows. There's my red squigglies there. And I have to pass down a couple levels, so that means these props are going to be needed here. Okay, so let's do delete, take, and then maybe I can just do on delete, take. Yeah. Oops, that's not right. All right, on delete, take, function, on finalize, take, function, but go in alphabetical order so that you don't get confused later. And that means that this guy comes over here. And then we get rid of on takes changed. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's complaining because I decided I wasn't going to do a whole signature type for the function. So if I go like that, then it fixes it. Okay. Then this has to pass on delete, take, on finalize, take, and this has to destructure as well. Okay. So then I go up another level. Up another level to Spiel speech pane. Yes. This is the penultimate level. Okay, then there's another one on takes change I want to get rid of. And this is a big long thing, so let's just make sure it's sorted. Okay. Cool. And down below, let's destructure correctly. Sometimes I just let the line go way off to the right because I know there's nothing that pertinent in the line that I'm going to be checking out all the time. And no reason to bring it down to an extra line because it would just be not concise. Which one are you complaining about? So, speech table rows. Did I save it? Did I save speech table rows? I think I did. So, okay, yeah, you gotta get rid of this guy. Okay, still good. Then we'll go back to Spiel speech pane. By the way, if anyone's watching this and saying, boy, this is really boring, this work where he's just going through these hierarchies of components and adding in props, and it just looks like a lot of tedious drudgery. Yeah, kinda. That's sort of React for you. Now you can devise little loopholes or workarounds to avoid having to pass through props, but part of the strength of React is that unidirectional flow and kind of knowing where to find things. And I broke a pattern, so it became harder to know where to find things, and now I'm fixing that pattern. Okay, so Spiel speech pane does no longer does that. It does need, again, to pass up one more level. Almost there to the top. Almost there to the top. We are at the top. Okay, we are at the top. Good. Okay, so we say delete take equals take wav key That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Let's stick with that for now. There. Oops. Okay. On delete take and then on finalize take. And this will be I guess finalize take. All right. So then I expect these to come from a file called take interactions. Let's call this export async function delete take, and then take key string set revision and set modal dialog, and I'm just going to delete this and get a fresh suggestion from Copilot. Let's see what it gives me. All right, it's telling me one thing that makes some sense. I'm probably going to need Spiel name. But this is not correct. So I want to name this a little bit differently. Let's change this to on, delete, take, and let's change, I'll do the finalize one separately. I'll wait to do it. Okay, so on delete take, because there already is like another function called delete take. Yeah, okay. Don't need the speech table. I do need the spiel name. Okay. Delete, take, key. Yeah. Take WAV key. Let's call it the same thing consistently. And this will be an await. And come on. Just give me the import. Yeah. All right. And this will be also an await. No, don't need to do an await. Okay, that's on delete take. So then I'm going to come back to here and we change this to on delete take. And the wording is going to help me make more sense of what's going on. Okay, let's do an import. And then now you're complaining that I didn't pass the spiel name, but I can do that. No problem. Don't need the speech table. And I do need the set modal dialog. That should do it. Okay, on this one, we'll do a similar pattern. On finalize take, and then we'll pass in same stuff. Same stuff. Okay, come back over to my take interactions, and I'll take this on delete take and copy it, make a finalize take. But this one's a little bit different. This is going to be await, and we'll make take final, pass in the key, and this is going to make updates in IndexedDB. Then after that, we'll update all that stuff. And here I get to set the modal dialog to something different. So set modal dialog, it's going to be trim speech dialog name. And that should bring up the new dialog. Now it's still not highlighting here, which makes me think like this is not right yet. Oh, I got to do an import. So add an import there. And over here, it's no longer grayed out. Okay. So that could be the changes that I need to test this out. It's quite a bit of refactoring that got done there, and it seems to be working. So let's test out deleting. So I'll grab this guy.
Look, I gotta go into that gas station and get some smokes.
Okay, now say I don't like that. So let's go ahead and delete it. Does it work like before? I'm letting go. Uncaught line, failed to execute delete on no key or key range was specified. Okay, so lost the key passing it up through the props. That's an easy bug to fix. I just kind of got to check all the function calls to make sure they're passing that key. So go back to dialog row. Okay, on delete take, make sure this take WAV key is passed. Okay, on delete take WAV keys, dragging take, no, okay, so there it's passed. On finalize it's passed. Go up one level. That'll be speech table rows. Yeah, here I'm messing up. Now I should be able to just put in the take WAV key here. pass it in that way. That should fix that. And okay, I guess I don't need to specify the string there. It'll just pick up by implication. Okay, that's one level. Go up another level. Speech table rows to Spiel speech pane. And here, what am I doing? Speech table rows. I'm just passing the on delete take on finalize take. I don't have to do any transformation on that. And then I'm up to the final speech screen. Okay, and then it's just the same thing. When I pass into the speech pane, I'm just passing in this inline function. Okay, let's try this test again.
Can you do me a tiny favor?
Let's delete it. You deleted. Oh, I don't even know if that's the old error or the new one. Let's try again. Okay, that works. Now let's see. If I finalize. Yes, okay. So that works just fine.
You stand here, hold the bag for 2 minutes.
Okay. So all that to get to a point where I could have a little more control over that dialogue. Get status. Get add source. Get commit A. I moved data updating code from child screen. Okay, so then I can just pull this up to see it anytime I want. Okay, and let's add in some other stuff. So for one thing, it's not select rows, it is finalize take, trim audio. And I'm just going to get out of this dumb habit of putting curly braces around text prompts because I don't need them. Don't need that. And it just takes longer to read and think about. So I might as well get rid of it. Okay, next. Div, class name. You don't know what I'm going to put here. Copilot, you do not know. Styles. Wave form container. Yeah, all right, container. I like that. Okay. Wave form visualizer. I things at once yet. I wish it would kind of prompt me here. Clearly I don't have them. Okay, amplitude markers, begin sample, no, block markers. Block markers. Time markers. Those will be useful. Those can be my start and end needles. Well, you know what I could do instead of having that div is just pass in this styles waveform container. Begin sample no 0 and end sample no 0 and samples null, and I'm definitely gonna need to multi-line this. Needle sample no 0. Okay. Okay, it does occur to me that the take WAV key is something to pass in. But I'll come back to that. Okay, on this waveform container, and does that update? Yeah, it does. Nice. Okay, so what else? While I'm here, let's do description, text, and let's do font size. Yeah, what you said. And let's go back to here and we'll do class name. Okay, what else? What else does my screen need? So these two things, they're going to be custom components. Is it worth putting a placeholder in for them now? Yeah, sure. Let's do a little bit of design work on those. What do I want to call this control? I'm going to call it trim slider. It's an interesting slider because it wouldn't be in a standard set of widgets. the way I envision it is you've got two sliders. The start one can never move to the right of the end slider. The end slider can never move to the left of the start slider. And there's even a little more space where they won't be allowed to move, just based on not wanting to have this button area overlap. So every time you click and drag this button, it needs to be constrained to a space, just like a regular slider. But after each movement of a slider button, the area that the other slider button is constrained to is changed. So if I move the start button, off over here, then suddenly the constraints of movement for the end slider are updated to stop it right here. And likewise, when I move the end slider to here, the constraints of the start button change from here to here. I'll put them back. After the buttons are moved, it should fire some kind of callback function, and that callback function can be used to position these vertical lines. Okay. This one here is more like just a straightforward slider, but since I've got to write this other code for this custom slider, I'm not really interested in finding like a reusable slider. I already have to write some code around this UI element. I might as well have the same look and feel and behavior for this simple, straightforward slider that's based upon what I did for that. So I'll call that the trim slider. And I won't overthink it. For now, I'm just going to have it be just a simple component that outputs a div, and we'll call it good. Left value, right value, on, on left change, on right change. I mean, that might be about it. Yeah, it'll be fun to write this little bit of UI code later. I'll go ahead and destructure. And let's see, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? Copilot, you don't know. You don't know. Let's just do a div and call it good. Div, and then we'll do class name. Yeah. And might as well just self-close. And I'll add in the CSS file for it. Okay, so there's that. Import styles. Yep. Okay, so I do that, then right underneath. Oh, I don't need this div. So don't like to have extra divs where I'm not actually using them. Okay. And we'll do trim slider here. Let's import. Could you let me import? Oh, maybe you already did. Yeah, you already did. Okay. Clean up my imports a bit. Okay. Okay, that should be a trim slider. Yeah, it's just a blank space for now. Okay. Well, just to make it clear what it's doing, let's just call that that. Okay. And then let's do another slider underneath. This one seems like it could be general purpose. So I think I'll put it down here. And let's see. Do I want the labels to be built into it? I don't need them to be. I don't need them to be. And it may be less complex to keep them out. So let's keep them out. And this makes the slider pretty simple. Also, I kind of don't, what's the, oh, I know why. Yeah, there we go. Okay, little return. Yeah. It's easier to do this by creating the style sheet first, so let's do that. Slider module, CSS. Okay, the one trick about having it be a general UI though is maybe I want to pass in a class name that's specific to the screen that it's in. Just for now, let's assume nothing that complicated. Okay, import styles. Okay, So then let's add this new fake stubby thing into my dialog. So I've got the trim slider. Let's bring in the slider. It's going to be value. Yeah, like that. Import you. Okay. Then come back and check how my app is doing. Okay. So here we go. We've got some stub components here. They're just rendering some text to show that they can be changed later to the thing they're meant to be. This is the waveform visualizer. Currently has no samples loaded into it. There's some other labels to add in with the slider. So if I'm going to match the wireframe, I'll need an auto adjust label above this, and these labels at the beginning and end. Okay, so just thinking what I want to do next with my limited time and to feel a sense of victory at the end of the session. Let's add the labels in. Yeah, let's do that. So this is going to look like a mess when I come back to it, but got all the stuff there. Okay, so next, let's just take all these and just copy them into the trim slider. Trim speech dialog. Yeah. Okay. Auto adjust container. And we just want width 100%. Okay. Then let's do. Okay. Also is it text align center? Yeah. Try that. Okay. Then auto adjust slider container. Yeah, that seems kind of right. And then, yep. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Good guess. Not bad. And then, while I'm at it, let's go ahead and get... Yep, you're right. When you're right, you're right. Alright. And delete this. See what shape we're in. Ah, not fucking bad. Yeah, not bad at all. This bit of junkiness will go away after it's an actual slider. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, none of this stuff will work yet. 5:26. Okay, I could spend the next half hour just making the navigation to the second of the two dialogues. Second of the two dialogues. What am I going to call it? Maybe generate lip animation. Yep, is open. I'll do the rest later. Okay, so then here. I'll just grab all this stuff again. Too many tabs open. Can't find my stuff. There we go. Bam. Is open. Finalize. Take lip animation. I suppose we need on cancel. Clean all that up later because I don't need all of this stuff, and I should delete what I don't need first. Okay, cancel is going to be the only button you can push, but if you just wait, it'll finish up automatically. Don't need that, don't need any of this. So delete all that stuff. This will change in a moment. This can just go away. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, I will also need on complete. Yep. Okay. Let's change this text to match what I came up with. Sorry for that. And did I make a progress bar? Did I already make a progress bar? Oh, I know I did it in a different project. I should probably just bring over the progress bar from another project. Okay, let's take a look at this other thing that I already did. Was it in conversations? Was it in chirp? I think it was in chirp. This was a pretty nice progress bar. I should probably just reuse it. Why not? Why not just reuse it? It's my code. Wisp. Okay, got that there. And on this side, I don't know about this, but I'll be able to play with it. Let's bring that back over to Wisp. And UI here. Feels like maybe I might do well to put this inside of its own directory. Okay. have to convert this to TypeScript, but I don't think that will be hard. Can't remember. Do I need that ID? I probably don't, but just leave it for now. Okay. So all I'm passing into it is %complete. Okay. So I think that works. This height stuff is hard coded. That's not great. Or the width. And the height, yeah. I don't know. Let's see what it actually does. Okay, no, the width and height are... Okay, that's because it's inside of SVG coordinate space. Okay, that should be fine. Then let's go to here. And let's import the progress bar. Keep it at 50%. Okay. Then I need to make the code that will advance from the previous dialog to this one. Okay. So for that, I need to go to my speech screen. Sure, I should close all my tabs more often. It's just a nice feeling. Okay, so down here, let's go ahead and add the generate lip animation dialog. It's open. Yep. Cancel. Yep. Incomplete. Yep. And done. Okay. Over here on complete, can just advance to the next dialog. Yep. Okay. Up top, what do we got? Where's the junk? Refresh table, no longer being used. Let's see if there's anything in that which I need to save or copy to the other functions. Refresh table is just calling that. I'm already doing that. Okay. And before I forget to do, move this and next line to be completed at end of finalizing. Yeah. To be completed when last dialog closes. Okay. Let's test with that. So we'll bring 2 over here. I'll say next. Well, that's kind of neat. It's not what I wanted it to do, I suppose, but oh, there is some part of me that says, yeah, go ahead, make your friggin' progress bar just take the whole dialogue. It's kind of fun. But that will also hide this text a little bit. So let's just not try to be too fun, and let's try to be clear. Wait a minute. If I take out the absolute, what happens? Okay. The height does not need to be 100%. Let's try 2 REM. 4 REM. Okay. And do we need the z-index? Does that z-index matter? I had it for some reason. I don't think I need it. Okay, it's saying height 100%, and I think that what it was trying to do was just say put it inside of a div, whatever the height of that div is, we're going to fill it up. Z-index I don't think applies. Left and top, it doesn't matter. So let me put this inside of a, yeah, okay, I got it. Take this. All right, there will be just these two things. Okay. And in the generate lip animation dialog, I'll put the progress bar inside of a div, and we'll do class name equals, yep. Okay. Then when I go into this module, we should do description text. Font size. Yeah, there we go. And then let's do, what was it? It was going to be progress bar container with 100% height 4 REM. Okay, it seems to do the job. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay. And there is kind of a weird thing about like the proportions of the margin not being the same ratio. So there's a thin little 1 pixel line along the top down here. Yeah. I don't know if that's worth fiddling with. It just doesn't really seem worth it to me. So I'm not gonna. All right. So then cancel should cancel. That is pretty friggin' good. Okay. I got the thing done that I said I was going to do in this session. I'll go ahead and commit that. Git status. Git add source. Git command A. All this code is up on my GitHub repo. You're wondering, well, where's that? Look at the... You know what? No one's clamoring for my GitHub repo. If you want to find it, ask me. Or look around. You will find it. I've left plenty of hints and advertisements for it. Okay. Added stub dialogues for trimming, and just say take finalization. Push. All right. This seems like a good place to stop the stream. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop the stream. So I'm pretty happy with the work I got done. All right.